Picture this. It's a Tuesday morning, 7:43 a.m. Your alarm goes off and you're 67 years old. You silence it, you get up, you put on your work clothes, you drive to a job you've had for 31 years. Not because you love it, not because you need the purpose, but because the math never worked out, because you kept meaning to start, because life kept getting in the way. Now picture the other version of Tuesday. Same age, 67, alarm goes off, you turn it off and go back to sleep because nobody is waiting for you, because you already built the thing that pays you while you rest. Same country, same economy, same starting line, two completely different endings. Here's the part that should keep you up at night. The first version of that Tuesday, that's the one most Americans are quietly headed toward right now, and most of them have no idea. My name is Jack, and today we're going to talk about the retirement crisis nobody wants to say out loud, what's actually causing it, who's going to survive it, and exactly what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. If you've ever thought, I'll get serious about retirement later, this video is specifically for you. Stick around because there's a number I'm going to show you around the middle of this video that will completely change how you think about time and money.
Let's start with the honest numbers, not the scary headlines, not the clickbait, the actual data. The median retirement savings for Americans between 55 and 64, the people who are supposed to be done saving, the people who are 5 to 10 years from the finish line, is $87,000. $87,000. That sounds like real money until you do the math. At a standard 4% withdrawal rate, $87,000 generates about $290 a month. That's not a retirement. That's a car payment. That's a grocery bill. That's not a life. Social Security picks up some of the gap. The average Social Security benefit in 2026 is about $1,900 a month. Add it to your $290, and you're living on $2,190 a month. The average American spends more than that on rent alone. Now, here's the number that actually broke me when I first saw it. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent survey of consumer finances, 28% of Americans over 55 have zero, not low, not modest, zero retirement savings. Nothing. 1 in 4 people within a decade of traditional retirement age have not saved a single dollar in a retirement account. And a lot of them aren't lazy. A lot of them aren't irresponsible. They just kept waiting for the right time to start. And the right time quietly became never.
Here's what I want you to understand. This isn't mainly a math problem. It's a psychology problem. Because the information has always been out there. Compound interest isn't a secret. Index funds aren't new. The 401k has existed since 1978. None of this is hidden. So why aren't people doing it? 3 reasons, and I want you to be honest with yourself about which one is yours. Reason 1, the future self problem. Your brain is genuinely terrible at connecting with the version of you that's 67. Psychologists call it temporal discounting. The further away something is, the less real it feels. The pain of not spending $200 today is immediate and sharp. The pain of working until you're 70 is abstract and distant. So your brain makes a completely logical short-term decision every single time. And 40 years of logical short-term decisions adds up to that $87,000 median balance. Reason 2, the I'll start when trap. I'll start when I make more. I'll start when the kids are older. I'll start when I pay off the car. I'll start when things calm down. Here's what nobody tells you about that sentence. Things never calm down. There's always a next thing. The car gets paid off and the roof needs replacing. The kids get older and college starts. The raise comes in and lifestyle creep eats it whole. I'll start when is just I won't start with better grammar. Reason 3, the size illusion. People look at what they can actually afford to save, maybe $100, maybe $200 a month, and their brain says that can't possibly matter, so they do nothing. They're waiting to save a real amount, and a real amount never arrives. This is the cruelest trick your brain plays on you. Because the people who saved $100 a month from 25 to 65 didn't end up with nothing. They ended up with over $350,000 at 8% returns from $100, the amount that felt insulting, the amount that felt pointless. The size of the number doesn't determine the outcome, the consistency does. Here's the thing I promised you, the number that changes everything. There is a specific month in your investment timeline where the game flips, where your money starts earning more than you're putting in, where you stop being the engine and your portfolio becomes the engine. I call it the crossover. If you invest $200 a month at 8% annual return, here's what happens year by year in terms of what the market gives you back annually. Year 1, the market gives you about $96. You put in $2,400. You're doing almost all the work. Year 5, the market gives you about $1,000. You put in $2,400. Still mostly you. Year 10, the market gives you about $2,600. You put in $2,400. Wait, read that again. Year 10, the market gives you $2,600. You contributed $2,400. For the first time, your money earned more in a year than you did. You crossed over. Your portfolio is now working harder than you are, and it never goes back. By year 20, the market is giving you around $9,000 a year on your $2,400 contribution. By year 30, it's $23,000. By year 35, it's $34,000 a year from a $200 monthly habit you started when you were young enough to think it was pointless. The people who retire comfortably are not the people who earned the most. They're the people who got to the crossover and stayed patient long enough to let it run. The people who don't retire, they never found the crossover because they waited, because they stopped, because they cashed out when the market dropped and missed the rebound, because they let the right time become someday, and someday became never.
Let me show you what this looks like in real life. 3 people, 3 decisions, 3 very different Tuesdays at 67. Sarah, 24 years old, entry-level HR job in Charlotte, making $41,000 a year. She opens a Roth IRA her first month of work, sets up a $150 automatic monthly contribution, never increases it, never touches it, forgets the password twice a year. At 65, Sarah has $473,000 tax-free. She didn't get a raise, she didn't pick stocks, she just started at 24 and left it alone. David, 35 years old, project manager in Dallas, makes $78,000. He's been saying he'll get serious since his late 20s. He finally starts at 35. Same $150 a month, same 8% return. At 65, David has $203,000. Same contribution, same return, 10 years later, $270,000 less. That $270,000 gap has a name. It's called the cost of waiting, and it's paid entirely in years you can't get back. Marcus, 50 years old. He spent his 30s and 40s convinced he'd start later. He starts now, $150 a month, 15 years until 65. Same 8%. Marcus ends up with $52,000. Not nothing, better than zero, but not enough to stop working. Here's what I want you to notice. Sarah, David, and Marcus all contributed the same amount every month. The only difference was when they started, and that one variable, just the starting date, separated them by over $400,000. Time is the only ingredient in this recipe that you cannot buy more of. You can always earn more money. You cannot earn more time.
I want to be honest with you about something uncomfortable. The financial system in this country is not designed to help you retire. It's designed to keep you spending. Think about it. Every advertisement you see is engineered to make you feel like you deserve something now. The new car, the vacation, the upgrade, the treat yourself moment. Billions of dollars of behavioral research go into making sure that your future self feels less real than the thing in your cart right now. The credit card industry made $130 billion in interest income last year. That money came directly from people who spent money they didn't have on things they didn't need because the present moment always feels more urgent than the future one. And here's the brutal part. The median American household carries $6,000 in credit card debt at an average interest rate of 22%. They're paying 22% guaranteed on debt while being too nervous to invest in a market that has returned 10% on average historically. They are paying more to borrow than they could ever earn by investing, and they're calling it being careful. You are fighting against an entire economy that profits from your short-term thinking. The only way to win is to automate the decision so your present self never gets a vote. Set up the automatic transfer. Make it happen the day after payday, before your brain sees the money, before your brain decides it needs something. Remove the decision entirely. The people who retire aren't more disciplined than you. They just removed the opportunity to be undisciplined.
Let's make this practical, because if you watch this whole video and walk away without doing anything, I wasted both our time. Step 1. If your employer offers a 401k match, that is your first dollar. Contribute at least enough to get the full match. A 50% or 100% instant return beats every investment strategy on earth. That's free money. Take it. Step 2. Open a Roth IRA if you're under the income limit. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, all free to open, takes 15 minutes. Do it today, not this weekend, today. Step 3. Pick one boring fund, a total market index fund or an S&P 500 index fund. VTI, FXAIX, FZROX, doesn't matter which one. They're all basically the same thing. Don't overthink it. Step 4. Set up an automatic contribution for whatever you can actually afford. $50, $100, $200. The amount matters less than the habit. You can always increase it later. You cannot go back and start earlier. Step 5. Do not check it constantly. Once a quarter is fine. Once a year is better. The strategy is patience. The strategy is boredom. Every time you log in and panic and do something, you are statistically making it worse. That's it. 5 steps, 20 minutes of setup, and then decades of doing nothing while your money does the work.
Remember those two versions of Tuesday morning I described at the start? The 67-year-old driving to work because the math never added up, and the 67-year-old turning off the alarm and going back to sleep because they built the thing that pays them while they rest. That gap doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from inheritance. It doesn't come from making more money than everyone else. It comes from one decision, made early enough, repeated long enough, left alone long enough. The right time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now, during this video, before the feeling fades. Because the version of you at 67 is being built today, by what you do today, by whether you close this video and go back to scrolling or whether you open that account and set up that transfer. That version of you is watching, and they're either going to thank you or wonder why you waited. Don't make them wonder. I'm Jack, and I'll see you in the next one.